Hello, everyone, and welcome to the best and worst of Walt Disney World, brought to you by Dreams Unlimited Travel, experts that help you plan your next Disney vacation. You can visit them on the web at dreamsunlimitedtravel.com, and they will do their best to save you all sorts of money, be at your service, and help you get started and heading on down to Florida, to Disney World, to wherever you want to go. That's out of your house. They'll help you do that. Well, in reason, but you know. So again, check them out, dreamsunlimitedtravel.com. I am your host, Rhino Clavin. This is the best and worst of Walt Disney World. Like I said, this week we are going to be talking about the worst moments in attractions that we believe are some of the worst moments in attractions. To help me have this conversation, we've got Denny Sunderly.
Hi there.
Jackie Gailey.
Hi, guys.
Craig Williams.
Oh, hoy, hoy.
And that's it. So, I thought the best had been suggested to us by a user on Twitter, and then Craig said, well, we should do the worst as well. So, Craig, since you were the one who said, let's do the worst, I'm going to let you go first with one of the moments that you think is the worst in attractions at Walt Disney World.
I am going to start with the one we most recently discussed before we got filming with this and presented it to the world. I told Rhino I was going to tick him off right away by choosing part of Dinosaur as it, and considering that's his favorite attraction, I know he holds it in a sacred position in his life. But for me, there's one of the best scenes in that entire attraction that could have been on our best moments is when you finally pull up to that last appearance of the Carnotaurus, and that's where your photo gets taken, and it's this epic moment.
I almost brought that up. That's funny that you said that.
It's a great moment. However, it's one of also the worst lead ups to that moment is when you go through this section it's right after that moment, right? When you go through
where you go blind and it's left, right,
yes.
left. Is that what you're talking about? Yeah.
Yes. The left, right, pitch black moment where, like, I've never been on I almost call it Dragon. I have never been on Dinosaur when the lights have been on or when there's been an evacuation, but I have to believe deep down in that part that there is no extra theming there, and it is just pitch black, and they take advantage of we could shave some bucks off if we don't theme this. We just let it go completely black, and we just use only audio cues with this, and it is such a cheap moment of that attraction because of that. I know it's exciting the first couple times, but the more you ride it, it's like, there's so many well-designed scenes in here, and then there's this moment, and it just irritates me to no end.
It's really funny that you said that, because before we started recording and you had left the room, Denny and I told her that recently I had ridden it. The last time I rode it, actually, every time I'm on it, it feels like it's getting brighter and brighter. And there's one scene, the car didn't used to have this flashing light under it, and now it does, or maybe it just did that time. I don't know, but there is a strip. When you first leave the time tunnel and you're in that prehistoric era, it's like, wow, look at the dinosaurs and the scene, and like there's so much foliage everywhere. There's like a hill in there where it goes from room to room, and it's literally just black walls, and I had never seen it before, but the light turned on at just the right time where I was like, this is embarrassing. Like, this is an embarrassing moment in this attraction where I was just like, who was just like, it feels like they built two pieces, put them together, and somebody was like, oh no, they don't fit right. And somebody's like, okay, well, here's what you're going to do. Cardboard over the middle, and we'll get them to connect. And I'm lucky that left-right part is still pitch black. So I haven't had that theory, but I have thought about what you said about that before, about how that can be a moment where, like, if it had been, maybe you were seeing other dinosaurs left, avoiding this other dinosaur right, and like one dinosaur here, even if they had little like dinosaurs they could have lit up in there, it might have made it more exciting for you, maybe, or, in the long run or something. But Denny, what do you think? What's a worst moment for you on an attraction?
Okay, going to Epcot Future World West.
Going to
So we're
Epcot, period.
Yes, go. No, I love Epcot. But we're in Epcot and heading to the seas with Nemo and friends. Now, I do enjoy this attraction, but there is a certain part in it that I just cannot stand, and it is the EAC. So we have seen the sharks. We've met Bruce, and there's that really cool moment, one of my favorites, where they've got little Nemo going in and through all of the machinery, and then you enter the EAC. This is like a big moment. You get to see Crush and Squirt, and it is, I now, because, and I'm not claustrophobic, and I'm not usually motion sensitive, but I can't do that one chunk. I have to scoot forward in my clamshell and look to the end of the tunnel. Otherwise, it's just this crazy parade of bubbles and things, and just gets me
like
feeling
spinning.
a little queasy.
Oh, I almost put this one on mine, but then I was like, well, I don't know, because I have very sensitive motion sickness. And so it's interesting hearing from somebody like you who says you don't really have a sensitivity to that you also feel nauseous in that. But I just hate that tunnel because it reminds me of, and Craig, I believe you were with me when this happened to me. There was a tunnel in one of the Halloween Horror Nights houses that was like, you were supposed to be going into a fun house, and the way they were projecting the light and everything as you went through this tunnel, I fell over at one point and was like, I can't figure out how to stand up because it was having that same sort of effect where it was spinning, and I was like, I don't know how to walk forward right now because it's messing up my brain chemistry or something. And I feel that same way when I'm on that tunnel. I hate that tunnel in Finding Nemo.
Yep.
It's unnecessary. I get it that the EAC is a huge part of Finding Nemo, and Crush is very Crush is revered, especially for that moment in there. But let's be real. With that moment, it's like they always, whether it's that or the submarine voyage in Disneyland, well, we have to have Crush in the EAC. It's continuity, bringing it in with the movie, keeping everything canon. However, yet then you have Turtle Talk just downstairs or wherever after you're finished with the attraction. So it's not even like okay, well, we can only show Crush in the EAC. They choose it because they like that effect, but it's cheap to me. Again, it's like, we'll just project this all really quick and make people dizzy and sick, but looks like you're going super fast, dudes.
Yeah, and I think that's the hard part too, is that you're in this slow moving tunnel, it's that projection that doesn't match the physical realm that you're moving through. So for me, I have to, sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm sorry. It takes you out of the attraction completely if you're at all thrown off, and that's a disappointing. There shouldn't be something that does that. You should feel so enveloped cohesively, continuously throughout an attraction, and it just breaks show completely for me. So
yeah, I think one of my least favorite moments in an attraction is on Flight of Passage. So I have said before that Flight of Passage is not my favorite ride at Walt Disney World. I don't hate it. I just am not. I'm not waiting 2 hours or anything like that. If it was like a 20-minute wait and somebody wanted to go on it, sure, that might never happen. But and I guess why people like it. But my thing that it's specifically this one part of the attraction. It is. Technically part of the pre-show, but there's the multiple different pre-shows in there, because you start where you talk to the one scientist and then you go into that room and you bond with the avatar and then you're in the other room or whatever. It's that guy. You all know who I'm talking about. Here we are in this avatar.
We need to find each of you an avatar. Let's prep the genetic sampling.
I'm on it.
Okay, first we need to find the compatible match of your genetic material with the genetic material of one of the avatar bodies that we already have. Once we do that, you'll be able to link to that avatar and fly.
I know what it was when it first opened, that video, versus what it was later, what it is now. They had to remove him saying a lot, and like that video was greatly reduced in length, but it is, I don't know how long you're in that room, but it feels like 10 years to me, and it is like the sound of his voice and that like it wants me, I want to rip my skin off and just beat myself to death with it while I wait in line, because it is so, it's worse than like nails on a chalkboard for me. I don't, and I'm sure some people feel like that when they listen to me talk, but this guy is just like, it's that weird monotonic, it's just something in the sound just doesn't, I can't even think about it. It's going to start giving me goosebumps. I hate it.
His lack of confidence is just like, it's bonkers in a way. I'm not saying that I know a bunch of people. I don't know what his official position is. Clearly, he is some sort of scientist. And definitely, I'm sure he messes around with computers a lot and in tech. The people that I know who work in tech and computers, they know this stuff. That's why they're in that field. They don't ever get so tripped up on their words. Like it would be like me sitting here and saying like, so we're gonna teach you today about how to turn the camera on. You find the power button and turn it on. It's just it's not. It's just it makes no sense. And there's other pause words to say than just Be creative.
My favorite part of it is that the closed captioning actually says on the screen.
Right?
Like, oh my god!
Spare the people who need that. Spare them the words. Jackie, what about you? Do you you haven't said anything really? What do you? I know you're all pixie dust and rainbows, but what is?
Yes.
There's got to be a moment in an attraction you don't like.
Well, there is. I'm just not sure that other people will feel this, but I am the kind of person that I don't love drops. I don't do spinny things really very well, but Splash Mountain is an attraction that I think is so cool. I love how long it is. I love going through all of the scenes and seeing, I love that attraction, except that right before you're going to go down that huge hill, I can't enjoy the scene before it because I know what's coming. And there's this weird, it freaks me out. So I can't focus and really soak in one of the best scenes in the whole attraction because I just know that hill is the next thing. And, it's hard because it only lasts for 3 seconds that you're actually going down the hill.
Well,
but
it's
it
not
feels
even
like
it's honestly, I hate the climb up even more than the drop, I think. I think it's that anticipation and it's just like, it's the click, 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 click. It always, for me, it always makes me think, and this is the world of anxiety I live in, but it makes me think at any moment it's not going to click and it's going to break and I'm going to fall backwards. So that's that fear.
Yes.
It just those, any flume ride like that, I just always think I just hate the rise, and I get the knots in my tummy when I go down the hill and everything like that. But it is just, especially on Splash, because Splash, you can really see, how they've constructed it with that light at the end of the tunnel. And you're like, that's not a good light at the end of the tunnel.
No, it's
Runaway.
not. And you just know. Yeah. And I'm like, okay, can we pause the log and can I just hop out now and walk down the stairs, please?
That's why they added the lap belts, because people were doing that. They were getting out right there.
Oh my gosh.
So
I would probably have done that if I knew I could.
They just strap you in.
Yeah. So that part. I mean, I just wish I wish it was like Mission Space where there's two sides of it where you could skip the hill part and just enjoy the other 20 minutes of loveliness.
She wants all attractions to be like that scene in Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway where like Goofy takes the left and we all go to the right or whatever, where we all come apart.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what I want. That's exactly what I want. Yes. Yeah. Yes, please.
I know there was another attraction mentioned that hasn't been spoken of yet that you guys had a worst part of.
Well, I'll go with my next choice. And before we get to that one, because I'm going to let Denny take the honors of that one. But I have to bring up too. I really got annoyed with it during our Magic Kingdom bracket series, but I have to bring up the red scene again. I think they and I'm not even talking about the politics of this scene, so I want to make that clear right from the start. I'm talking about literally the dialogue that they wrote for this entire scene and the choice in the voice casting for it. The scene is still iconic. It definitely, to me, it has lost a little bit versus what it is before, but I like the idea of Red. It's just then I feel like they let an intern do the show writing on it, and so she's going off about 10 for a hen and just other random nonsense, because now they're auctioning off the items that from the town that they just pillaged, and like that's the next question too with it. It's like, okay, well, all these pirates, they're all on the same ship together, I'm assuming, going from port to port for the most part. So where's this really making sense? Like, at least it's not okay, but like with the auctioning woman, at least like there's something there's something.
I never thought of that.
It's one of those, like, it's a really long stretch on there, but I'm like, okay, well, you're auctioning off these hens, and then I'm assuming that if someone really didn't win and they really wanted that hen, they're just going to kill you and take the hen. I think that's how piracy works, but it's just, and then I feel terrible because the girl that they got to do, the lady that they got to do the voice of Red, I always forget her name, even though I know she's really big in the voice acting community. Like, I just feel like it was a complete wrong fit. Like, she's this perky, happy pirate in the middle of this pure chaos and turmoil. It doesn't blend in with the rest of the attraction.
Like, they all kind of have that slur when they're speaking, right? Like even the one who's leading the auction, he's got this like, show him your starboard side. Like, there's this weird like, you can tell they've been in the sun, they've drank a lot, they've done this. There's like that gruff to their voice. Like, it's like her voice is very young and friendly, and I'm not. It's just something is not fitting just right. I feel that same kind of weird feeling too when I go through there. It sticks out.
Like, she's new to the game.
Yeah.
She's new to the game, but at the same time, she's so successful that she's already running these high profile auctions. Like, did she rise to the Molly's Game level of success that quickly? There's questions to be answered in all of it, and it's another reason why I dislike this current iteration of Pirates of the Caribbean so much. But that's just on me. I know other people still love it. But
well, Denny, you have one more, I think, too, that you want to bring up here.
Yeah, I do. And we're going back to Epcot, back to Future World West, and we're going to stick with Journey into Imagination with Figment. And bless his sweetheart, I like this attraction, but there are moments that make me inwardly or outwardly groan as I'm on it. And one in particular is the skunk scene, so the smell lab. And then the other one is the train. When the train comes through and everything is pitch black. I was on that, the last time I was on it, it occurred to me how very terrifying that scene must be for little kids who think that this is a fun attraction, which it is. It's supposed to be light and imaginative, and fun, but they completely douse the lights, and then it sounds like this freight train is rolling through, and there's the wind that they stir up along with it, and literally you can see nothing, not the hand in front of your face. So that to me, it's like, okay, that's actually scary. There is, not a whole lot here, and it's a little scary. The other one is the skunk. It's the skunk smell, and the kids love it because that's so much fun that you've got the skunk smell, and how much fun is that? But for me, I'm just like, really? Okay. So it's just not I think it's a worst moment.
It's basically like a better way of doing fart humor in an attraction,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it's unnecessary. Like the same, even though we'll never have to put up with it again, it's the exact same equivalent of with Stitch's Great Escape with the chili. The
dog
chili
burp.
dog
Burp. Yeah.
burp.
Yep.
Like it's like, oh well, it's a skunk smell, so it's not like we're not hitting you with farts or something, but it still is stinky, and it's like, oh, this is the downside of the late '90s, early 2000s. That deep down, I blame stuff like Shrek for like, let's go over the top with some of this gross out humor, and then everyone just like got on the bandwagon. And I know it definitely has transcended other generations too, but it to me, it takes an attraction that like it could be a warm moment if it really was random and like, oh, we did get the rose smell today,
Yes.
and it smells lovely, and it's like it's something that could have easily been done, but nope, gotta get all stinky with this. Ugh.
Yeah, it's just going for the cheap laugh, and you go,
Yeah.
oh, man,
And it adds
it's
to
disappointing.
that annoying aspect of Figment too. So it makes you for me, like I don't remember that original attraction. So for me, I'm like, this dragon is so annoying. Like I don't like him for many reasons, and I try to still be like, well, I like the idea of him, but
Technically, he's a figment of your imagination. Well, the Dreamfinder's imagination.
True.
So
Yeah.
true. So that guy's to blame then. For the fart jokes.
okay, can I get my last one?
Yeah.
Okay, my last one. I know that I have been told on multiple levels that I am wrong about my opinion on this, but I despise the cave section of Jungle Cruise completely.
Really?
To me, it is a cop out moment in the entire attraction, because during this scene, it's everything goes quiet, and it's you go into the cave and you have this tiger and you have some monkeys having fun in there. So it's like they've got the gags in there, but really to me this is always the section of it's okay, my skipper's going to sit down and they're either going to spin the wheel a little bit, not talk to anyone, or they're going to have like the question and answer interview with whoever's sitting at the front of the boat and just kind of chat with them during the moment. It's like it's just this moment where like they can't be on the speaker and talking during then, because they're in a enclosed cave. It's going to then echo and reverberate throughout it. So it's to cut down on sound. I get it in a way, but it's just this really quick, quiet moment that I feel like it's just not. It doesn't fit in with the Jungle Cruise. And
I forget.
I've
Is there
never liked it for that reason.
Is there a cave in the California one too?
No.
I didn't think so. Okay, I'm like, it was an interesting change up,
No, but Craig, what about when it's Jingle Cruise and all the monkeys have little Santa hats on? I mean, that's
I
like it more?
still don't care. I still don't care for it even at that time. It's Jungle Cruise is one of my favorite attractions. I just don't like this moment. It's not. It doesn't do it for me. There's nothing they could do to ever like make this moment right for me, because I'm on the Jungle Cruise not because I want to see the animals for the 900th time. I go on for the skippers and to hear like, is this going to be the best skipper I've had, or is this going to be one of the worst, which ends up also being one of the best. And I look for those moments, and in this section where the skippers don't do anything, I can't get behind that. So
Okay.
I do have another worst moment I remembered while you were talking that we talked about ahead of time, so I forgot to bring it up again. And I got people did not care for my opinion on this one either. I think I got called some fun names on the internet for this, but I think I hate the scene in the beginning of Mickey's Runaway Railway when you're in the theater room where she kicks Pluto in the head, because I don't think it's funny, and I know people are like, oh, I already have this thing where I don't love the character of Minnie Mouse. I do not like the character of Daisy. She's just rude to Donald. I don't like despise Minnie or anything like that, but she like there's just like she kicks him and then he like looks up and he's all bruised and battered, and then she slams the trunk down on him, and there's just a little bit of that where I was like, I can get the situational humor of being like, oh, it's just like it's a fun, she's clearly not aware that she's doing it or anything, but I don't know, I saw it and I always am just like, it doesn't sit right with me because I'm like, you should treat your dog better than that, Minnie Mouse. Come on now. That's Mickey's dog, actually,
Yeah.
so you should be nicer to him. But that's just a little part I don't like. And I know everyone's like, oh, it's just... I hate when people say, oh, well, you know, you'd hate the cartoons from the 40s and the 50s. Yeah, I would and do, in fact. So, don't like a lot of the some of that stuff doesn't
My
hold
problem,
up very well.
so I don't disagree with your sentiments on this point of the attraction. I think the hard part is, as someone who watches a lot of the cartoons, including the new ones, the hard part is how they blur the lines with Pluto's personality. If it's a Pluto short, you don't look at Pluto as he is Mickey's pet. You look at Pluto as he is this character. He doesn't have the power of speech and stuff, but a lot of times, there's always the classic Pluto cartoons where he's got the angel Pluto on one side and the demon devil Pluto on the other, and usually it surmounts with Pluto doing some really, truly terrible things, because whether it's to a cat or another animal, Pluto's a jerk. I'm just going to say that. He's almost always redeemed in these, but he has these terrible moments. So then it is tough when you have the other characters treating him unfortunately, because in that sense he's the pet in these, but it's like, if he could have been on the same level, if he was more like, oh, I'm the same equivalent as Goofy, I can talk and stuff, no one would like Pluto. He would be a pretty terrible character, but and then you'd be like, yeah, Minnie, you know what, slap him around a little bit, he needs some sense talked into him. He's talking to a devil on his shoulder. But it is tough. I wish there was more consistency with the Pluto character, and then you could excuse some moments like that.
Does anybody have any other parts of attractions they don't care for? So I think probably people on the internet have plenty of them, though. So if you would like to let us know, please do that. If you're watching this video, leave those in the comments below. I'm sure you'll find ways to call us names anywhere that you need to. So just thank you, everybody, for having this. Thank you, everyone, for having this discussion, and thank you, everyone, for listening and watching. And remember, when you're planning that next vacation, please visit dreamsunlimitedtravel.com. Won't cost you a thing, and the experts over there can get you started and back at Disney on your next opportune moment. So again, thank you, everyone. We'll be back with another episode of the best and worst of Walt Disney World. Bye, everyone.